see the crossroads coming up ahead. A choice I make, but haven't made yet. Why do pathways feel so threatening? What ifs are never ending? Caught in the shadow of what might be. A future I fear, but still cannot see. Wait up, tomorrow should be easier. What if I leap and it's not what I fear? Oh. I get too nervous about the middle part, so I skip to the credits before it even starts. I know I tend to get ahead of things, but how come that I'm already at the end before it begins? Already made it to the ending before it begins. I see the crossroads coming up ahead. A choice I make, but haven't made yet. Why do pathways feel so threatening? What ifs are never ending? Caught in the shadow of what might be. A future I fear, but still cannot see. Wait up, tomorrow should be easier. What if I leap and it's not what I fear? Oh. I get too nervous about the middle part,
What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars. Maybe the birds will sing about your heart. Maybe the trees will whisper the word. Maybe the sun will spread your joy to the ones who lost their hope. You fill my head with roses. I can't help but dream away. Standing on a field with you and flowers everywhere. Maybe there is a star